And welcome in to Tennessee Tuesday. It's Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026. I'm John Blankenship, your host, joining by my co-host. Here in the center of the screen tonight, he's always the center of attention, Jason Boshers, and our special guest tonight will be past Division Commander Mike Beck. And Jason's grinning, but he knows I'm telling the truth. He's the center of the attention. And Jason, good evening to you, my friend. How you been? We hadn't seen each other on the show in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, sir. I've had some things going on, and I've watched the replays, and I tell you, you've had some good shows. And then we missed one because you were sick, young man.
Man, I'm telling you, last week, my apologies first that we didn't have a program. Roy Hudson, who was scheduled to be our guest, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. He's going to be on towards the end of the month. We've got that rescheduled already to the 21st. But he was so gracious to let me bow out of the show that night, as there was no way I was going to be live on camera doing much of anything. So I appreciate our viewers and listeners for bearing with us, but it's good to be back here again for a special Tennessee Tuesday edition, talking about our division reunion with Mike Beck. Mike has been on with us in the past, and we're a little bit over a week out from this event now, and it's going to be a good time, our annual reunion in Tennessee. I know the guys at the Bradford Rose Camp up there in Morristown have done a fantastic job putting this event together, and we'll be talking with Mike coming up in just a few minutes. But let's start out tonight with our disclaimer to tell you the views and opinions on this broadcast are solely our own and not the SCV or the GEC or any divisions, brigades, camps, or other subsidiaries of our organization. Again, solely our viewpoint tonight, and we're glad to be able to share that and talk about our ancestors and all the good things the sons of Confederate veterans are doing. And tonight, after our conversation with Mike towards the end of the program, we'll go over some other division news and activities. A lot of things starting to happen, Jason, as we get in, of course, to springtime. It's some busy times around Tennessee, and lots of camps have been active, and we're going to show some photographs and talk about some of those this evening. So let's go ahead and jump in and say hello to some of the folks that are joining us tonight on the chat. Of course, there's many ways that you can watch the program. Of course, on the original SCB Chat Network, Facebook page and YouTube channel, as well as the Tennessee Tuesday Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. And then it's shared on a plethora of other groups as well. So we hope you'll find us. If you're new here tonight, we're glad to have you for the first time. If you've been around as a regular, we're glad to have you back once again. So hello to a few folks tonight from Virginia. Hope Mr. Owens is doing well this evening. Johnny Jenkins also joining us from Springfield, Missouri. I know they just had, and we mentioned, I believe last week a little bit, a division reunion up there that was very, very successful. Lots of folks were there and saw some photographs, and they always do a great job and have a great attendance as well.
Yes,
so a shout out to them. Jason, also Elliot Jackson joining us. You know Elliot. He's from the General John Hunt Morgan Camp 270 tonight. Good to see Elliot on with us as well. Mr. Steve Reed joining from a little south of me. Of course, he's on with us each week, and we appreciate him. As well as a little further south in Jacksonville, Florida. Kim joining us tonight from Kirby Smith 1209. Good to have Kim on with us this evening. Also, our Lieutenant Commander of the Tennessee Division, Mr. Rich Garcia from the Gainesboro Invincibles camp joining us tonight. I hope Rich is doing well. Al is here, and I appreciate that. Glad to be feeling a lot better than I was. I'll tell you what it is. A combination of two things, Jason, vertigo and probably a stomach virus. Those two don't mix, and they were two separate times over about a week period. So it was rough, but feeling a lot better and glad to be back. I also want to say hello to Jerry Peacock joining us tonight. There from Florida as well. I believe you know Jerry.
Yes.
Joining us too. So good to see Sean. Appreciate the kind comments tonight. And also we have a first-time listener here. So we appreciate them being on with us tonight too. And finally here, Charles LeRae joining us as well. I appreciate the kind words there too. And then Kathy Wood joining us too there from the UBC. So some good folks on with us tonight, Jason.
Yes, we've got a great crowd.
Definitely so. So let's go ahead and jump into our conversation tonight. We've got a lot to cover and a lot to talk about, so we won't delay too much. We'll say hello to more folks as they come on throughout the show. We've also got a new sponsor that's come on with us since our last program. The Sam Davis Home is now a sponsor of the program in SCV Chat, so we'll be talking about them a little bit later on too this hour, and then just a plethora of events across the division to tell you about. And the big one coming up here, and what's that, like 9 days, I believe, something like that, Mike, is the Tennessee Division Reunion, which is going to be held in Morristown. And Mike Beck is our guest tonight. Most folks are familiar with Mike. He's a past Tennessee Division commander. He served 3 terms. When I joined the SCV, he was the man in the big seat and did a fine job leading our organization in the Tennessee Division. And now he has stepped up with the camp there to bring the Tennessee Division Reunion this year. And Mike, welcome in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate being back again. Share some good news, everybody. I hope it looks good. Everything's looking good.
I know I've hosted a couple of these. Jason's hosted one of these. These last few days is when your nerves are kind of, you're a little tense because you're getting all the final details worked out and getting it all together. But I know you're no stranger to a Tennessee Division reunion, so you know what needs to happen at one. But how is it in a different seat this time, and when you're this far into it? How do you feel about it?
Well, you start to get the nervous stomach a little bit more, because here's the way I approach it. I want it to work for everyone, for what we're trying to do, and I care. I mean, that's just part of the territory, But things are starting to really fall into place. We've had some bumps in the road, and we've got some nice people helping us and understand about it. And we're getting there. We're getting there. And it's just everyday part of doing business. As everybody knows, it's put on anything like this. The hurdles you come to. But, hey, we're working it out. It's getting there. And I'm actually starting to feel good, too.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. I mean, this is a huge deal when you got a new monument to look at and grin and take pictures and smile over and dedicate. I mean, I don't know about you guys and gals out there, but this is a big deal to me.
It is. And, Mike, we'll talk about a little bit more after our first break in more detail. We'll show some pictures of the status of the monument and how good it's looking. There was a Facebook group that the algorithms of Facebook, we were talking before we went on, some really positive comments in the local community up there as the road is changing. You have to turn there by the museum. Like, what is that big statue there? And the attention it's brought to the museum too, Mike. I saw one of the comments. I've seen that house for years, but really didn't know what went on there. And it's brought even more attention to the museum.
And I kind of call it guerrilla marketing 101. The statue out there, the base, see there for a month or two or whatever, you just see these big stones sitting out there, get everybody's curiosity going. And then all of a sudden you see a statue on it. Then I told the guys, I said, as soon as that statue goes on, it's going to go viral.
Yeah.
And it started. It has started, and the momentum will build because since state of Tennessee has changed the road traffic patterns, since they're widening the road right there, I just like to know the traffic count coming by the museum right now.
I mean, it's really a plus for you because it's bringing
really
people. They have to slow down and see what's really there.
They have to come up this Depot Street from Russellville Pike to access main highway 11E, and they have to drive slow, get up to the next intersection. So they see all what's going on. They see the UDC marker, and we'll put the state marker back up real soon of Longstreet's Billet. And I've got some other markers and little statues I want to put up there eventually. And it's going to be our version of Monument Avenue, guys and gals. I'm just telling you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike, let's talk a little bit about, after our break, we're going to break down some photographs and kind of go through how all this has come together, especially with the monument and stuff there at the museum. But let's talk a little bit about the reunion coming up, kind of what the activities are looking like. And first, I guess for folks that may not have registered yet, can people still do that if they still want to come? I know you may be limited on food, but can they still attend the business session and things like that?
Here's how I look at it. You and I have been around this long enough. We know people's schedule and life happens. And I expect some walk-ons. And the general rule of thumb, as we all know, you pay the fee. And if you're a member in good standing, you come to the business. You come to the business meeting and stuff. You just won't have the amenities, as they say. That's about the biggest difference right there. So, yes, I always expect a few walk-ons.
So, Mike, if they're coming up maybe day of, I know you'd be limited on food. Maybe some available to you. It just depends. Do they still pay that regular $65 fee no matter what? Is that the fee they pay?
It's $75.
Sorry, $75.
Yeah, it went up, so it'd be $75. Now, I talked to the lady today at the Marstown Landing, and they normally have a few extra meals. I mean, that's just normal.
So it's just first come, first serve on that side. If you come in late, register late, maybe there may or may not be.
Because the box lunches and the banquet plates, it will be based off the numbers that we turned in.
Well, let's kind of look at the schedule, Mike, and let's start with Friday night briefly here, what the evening is looking like. So we want to make sure folks that are coming, that are watching tonight and are wanting to see the schedule that's just been published to our membership. Friday night is the social. This is a kind of a come and go event, but we want to make sure people understand it's not in Morristown, but it's at the Longstreet Museum in Russellville, and that's going to start at 5:00, correct?
Yes, that's the plan, to come.
So again, Mike dropped off there a little bit on us tonight, but we'll see Jason coming up 5:00 is that Friday night social there. Again, that will run until about 8:00. And Jason, if you've been to these over the years, so you know that that's a fun time just to get to visit with folks and talk a little bit more about the things that have been going on, maybe in your camp and activities. So that's the Friday night social event there as well. And then, of course, that will continue until 8. Everybody will wrap up and around 8 o'clock and kind of head back to their hotel and to get ready for the busy day on Saturday, which is going to be a lot of activities. And as Mike comes back on here in just a moment, we'll be talking a little bit more about the whole plan for Saturday. Of course, you have the monument dedication that will be taking place. But again, registration is going to start that Saturday morning. And then at 8:30 is when the business session is going to begin. There will be opening ceremonies that will take place before that. And as Mike comes back here in just a moment on with us, we'll talk a little bit more about what he has planned during opening ceremonies. And then, of course, the monument dedication there will be that afternoon at 2 o'clock at the General Longstreet Museum. So going to be a busy weekend of activities for the Tennessee Division reunion, which will be taking place in Morristown. So as we wait for Mike to come back on with us, we'll be talking more about all the activities that's planned on that afternoon. We're going to see some progress on the monument. And Jason, I know several have probably seen some of these pictures. They have been busy. And one I can't wait to show is Jordy on top of the monument. I got confused who is the one that's staying up there, but I did realize it's going to be the soldier and not Jordy. I think the soldier's a little taller than Jordy too. So we'll show some photographs of the work there, but we need to go ahead and get into our first break here, Jason, and let's go over our sponsors. If you want to talk a little bit about our Patreon sponsors and how you can join as a Patreon member.
Yes, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. We've had still some more people come on board watching us, and we can talk about our Patreons. These you can join Patreon, and you can go to scv.chat and join through Patreon that way, or you can go to the Patreon website and join SCV chat through there. They have three different levels. The first one is what they call a Feed the Moose level. And that is the one that it's just $2.50 a month. And they named it that to pick at one of the founding hosts of SCV Chat.
He was in college, Jason, and man, he was broke. So, I mean, you got to feed him, you got to take care of him.
Yes. So we have that Feed the Moose level, and that's $2.50 a month. Then you get to the $30 a month level. And the $30 a month level is, that's the merchandise level. And the stuff you get sent is really actually pretty cool stuff. You don't get everything every month. It's going to be, 4 or 5 months between you getting a little something. But the merchandise level is well worth it. And then there's the $80 level. Now, the $80 level, that's our show sponsors. Those are the people like Dr. Chris Cummings. Do you want to talk? I know you know Dr. Cummings. Do you want to talk about him?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a photograph of Dr. Chris Cummings there in his clinic there in Oxford, Modern Medicine. So he's got a website, cmc-md.org. You can go learn more about Dr. Cummings. I know he specializes in knee pain. As I get older, Jason, I'll be 44 tomorrow, and I know what knee pain is like. You've probably experienced some of that too. Well, Dr. Cummings, if you're down his way, he can take care of you. You could also make plans to travel to Oxford there and visit with him, set up an appointment. Again, Modern Medicine and Southern Hospitality, Dr. Chris Cummings, one of our sponsors here this evening on Tennessee Tuesday.
Yes, sir. And we'll go ahead and we'll talk about past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney. And he's written several books. There he is, setting up a signing at a recent event. And his newest book is called Paradox of Freedom. And it has won the Douglas Southall Freeman Award. That's presented by the Military Order of Stars and Bars. It is really a lot of very good new material. The book is Paradox of Freedom, but you can go to booksbylarry.com and you can get all of the ones that he has written. I like his Beauregard book. Then there's several of them that he's written that are very good. One that I call the Boats and Swamps one, that's the one where he's talking about that. So it's he was Commander-in-Chief when I was Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. We became very good friends, and I was happy to see that he won this Douglas Southall Freeman Award. That's a
Absolutely.
great deal. Yes.
An excellent author and educator there. And next, you got the 31st Regiment engraving.
Yes, sir. And this is done by our friend Todd. I haven't seen Todd from California. I haven't seen him in the chat tonight. Maybe we'll see him a little bit and say hi to him. They do this special engraving, and it's a Southern themed items, custom laser engraving. You will see Harrison when he is on. He will show his bracelet that was done that helps him remember his ancestor. And the website is 31ST Reg Engraving. So 31stregengraving.com. Go and visit Todd and see what he's got. A bunch of good stuff out there. Yes. And
Absolutely.
then, yes. And that's our Patreon. Let's see. I don't see the one for there it is, Beauregard's Taylor. Yes. And you can see the things that they have there. And I have bought from Beauregard's Taylor before. They are a family business, and they do very good reproduction uniforms and lapel pins. And they say that I don't have one of their flags. They say they do fantastic flags. But you
I've seen some photographs of them. Very good work and highly thought of.
Yes. And you can go to Beauregard'sTaylor.shop and catch up on everything that they're doing. And then do we have the museum at Market Hall?
Yeah, yes. We have museum at Market Hall.
Yes, that's awesome. The last time I visited this was when we were in Charleston for the National Reunion. And if the flag is out, we are open. And they are visiting with SCV Chat. And I tell you, they have a great facility. And if you're ever there, go see Museum at Market Hall.
And definitely want to go back and check out the past SCV Chat show where they were on and featured some of the items that are in the museum. Just a fantastic museum we got to see in Charleston as well, Jason. If you're going to Charleston, South Carolina, there's a lot to see there, but that's one that needs to be on your list. And we have a brand new sponsor this week that's joining us. They've been on with us a couple of weeks, the Sam Davis Home and Museum. If you've never been to Smyrna, you need to make your plans to go there and spend several hours at the Sam Davis Home. Jason, I know you've served on the board there, and you can tell us a little bit more about all that's offered at the Sam Davis Home.
Well, it's a great facility. Of course, when you pull in, it's on Sam Davis Road, 1399 Sam Davis Road in Smyrna. As you're pulling in, you think about everything that has happened on that property, but we still farm the property. It is still being farmed as it was then, and you can go and do a tour of the home. There's been a lot of work that is done. We have redone some of the windows there, and we have some roof work that we're doing and gutter work that we've been doing. And a home that is this old, it takes a lot of work. It has a lot of rotted wood all the time. Last time I was there, I noticed that we're going to have to do some work on one of the side porches. But you can go there. You can tour the home. You can go to see where Sam tied his horse up the last night that he was there. You can walk up to the parents' bedroom as Sam did. And you can go to the gravesite and visit with Sam and the rest of the family. So, and then you can go in the museum. They have some things like honey that is that the bees produce there at the site. Plus, they have a very nice museum, and they have the letter that Sam wrote to his mama.
A very neat. One of my favorite things to see in the museum there is the original photograph that Sam is in, the daguerreotype. I love seeing that image and being able to lift that up and look at it, that it's close enough that you can almost touch, and to think of the story there and get to walk on the ground he was at. Great job is done by all the board there that helps raise funds. You can become a member there, an annual member with the Sam Davis Memorial Association. And of course, donations are, Jason, I'm sure, are always important. We know how operating museums are. They need donations. Old houses always need work. So they would appreciate your support.
Yes. And a house that old, it's like Elm Springs. We're working on Elm Springs all the time. We're going to be working on the Sam Davis home all the time, but we have to work to preserve history. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right. Well, Jason, again, we thank our sponsors. If you'd like to be one of the show sponsors that you just saw there of those, $80 a month, you can join and you can sponsor your organization or your business and help support all the shows that you hear on SCV Chat, like Tennessee Tuesday. So we do appreciate them. SCVchat.com, you can go and learn more about how to become a sponsor. Well, Jason, we need to take this first break. I see Mike Beck is waiting in the background. He'll be joining us again in a little bit. We'll be talking more about the Tennessee Division reunion, the new monument that's being put up at the General Longstreet Museum. We'll talk about that. And Jason, I don't know if you've seen something that I recently worked on for Confederate History and Heritage Month, or the new little vignettes. I've started to create a series of those, so we'll feature one of those in this commercial break, and of someone that you're very familiar with, Sam Watkins. Samuel R. Watkins, 1839 to 1901. Sam Watkins of Murray County, Tennessee, is remembered as one of the most well-known Confederate soldiers through his service and his words. Enlisting as a private in Company H, 1st Tennessee Infantry, Watkins served throughout the war between the states, fighting in many of its hardest battles, including Shiloh, Chickamauga, and Franklin. Like so many soldiers, he endured the hardships of war, witnessing both the courage and the cost of conflict firsthand. After the war, Watkins returned home and later wrote his memoir, Company H, one of the most widely read personal accounts of a Confederate soldier. His writings provide a vivid and human perspective on the everyday experiences of those who served. Today, Sam Watkins is remembered not only for his military service, but for preserving the story of the common Confederate soldier for future generations. To learn more historical facts about Confederate veterans, visit TennesseeSCV.org. And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm your host, John Blankenship, joined by my co-host, Jason Boshers. And Jason, hope you like that little vignette. There's a series of those that'll be coming out during Confederate History and Heritage Month, featuring individuals of Tennessee. Some you may be familiar with, and some not so much. And we'll play another one of those coming up a little bit later on. So I hope I did justice there to Sam Watkins.
Oh, yes. And I was just through Franklin just the other day, and you mentioned Franklin as being one of his battles. And he worked and did some work in Franklin and traveled to Franklin after the war. And I've often wondered what he thought as he rode the train in, because the train goes through the battlefield. Yeah. And I often wondered, I go to cross that train track, and, just right up the road from there was where the shell come through that that landed between Nathan Bedford Forrest and another officer, and it didn't go off. If it had gone off, we'd have lost Forrest there in Franklin as well. But on that same track where he's coming into Franklin, I wonder what was going through Sam Watkins' head, because he had to relive it again every time he come in. Yes.
I love reading Company H, and I've picked up a audio version of that recently. It's like 8 hours if you listen to it all the way through, but it's good listening material, especially when I've come back from Columbia, which is about a 3-hour trip for me. You can learn a lot. It's a good way, something to keep you going, keep you interested, instead of just trying to pick between stations that you can't pick up out in there. But very good stuff. We love Sam Watkins, and again, his book, Company H, one of those that's one of the most famous ones out there, telling the story of just a private soldier, and it's humorous at times as well.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Very good book. Well, welcome back in tonight is past division commander Mike Beck, who is joining us this evening. And I'm going to add this one to the stage, and we're going to drop this one off and put this one up here. And now, Mike, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Well, fantastic. Well, we got you back. Folks that can't see behind the scenes what we see, I see five talking heads of Mike Beck in the background, but one of them works and has audio, so we're going to go with that one. How about that?
Yeah, I wonder about some of the technology up here.
Well, Mike is joining us this evening. We talked a little bit before the break, Mike, of course, about Friday night going to kick off. And we jumped in while you were off there a little bit about what's going to be happening on Saturday. But let's get back into that conversation about the event on Saturday, as we kick off, and I'm going to put that graphic back up for folks to follow along with us here. On Saturday morning when you arrive for the reunion, you can start registration there. Mike, what time will folks need to arrive at the venue there?
Well, now I've got 8 a.m. and change it over to 8 for business. So that may vary with 30 minutes. So I would like to give it over to you at 8 o'clock.
Well, we'll do that. It's going to be a good day. We've got a lot of business to handle of the organization in the Tennessee division. Of course, it's an election year. We'll be hearing from some candidates. You'll have the top 3 officers, then the brigade elections as well. Some other business we'll be talking about, and look forward to our business session. Then I need to be finished by noon for you to take back over for a box lunch for those that are attending.
Yes, that's what we have planned. And we will depart Washington Landing and head to the museum to give our guests time to walk the grounds, go through the museum, and prepare for the 2 o'clock dedication.
And of course, we'll leave there, and those that are taking the bus, some will take bus, some will drive over. So that is set up there. So if you planned on taking the bus, you've got that list. You know who those individuals are. And now, Mike, let's talk about that monument dedication at 2 o'clock, and then we'll kind of finish up the schedule, and then we'll come back and tell the whole story of the monument. But that's going to take place at 2 o'clock there in Russellville, which is about how far from Morristown?
It's probably about a 20, 30-minute drive from the landing.
So again, that starts at 2 o'clock. So when folks arrive, whether they're on the bus or in their own vehicle, what's going to take place there at the Longstreet Museum and the site where the monument is?
Well, we'll give guests time to go to the museum, the bathroom, and just look at things and get prepared for the program.
Going to be a good time there. Dedicate a monument. Rarely at a Tennessee Division reunion do you get to do something so exciting, Mike, as like dedicate this new monument. So that'll happen at 2. And let's now jump back after folks leave there, and they'll have some time to themselves. And then we jump back to our schedule here of the awards banquet that's going to be on Saturday evening. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to be happening during that time.
Well, we're trying to in enough time for people to relax, to look around the area, and get ready for the banquet at 7 p.m. David Neat, local historian, he's educated at Carson Newman College, and he's our president of the Lake Mississippi War Preservation. And put that picture in front.
I think, Jason, you had that picture. You want to look at that again, Mike? Your audio broke up a little bit on you then.
Okay, maybe I need to close some of these windows. Let me try. Is that even better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah, there's a good side of Morristown Landing. So again, the banquet's going to take place there that evening starting at 7. You've got the guest speaker. And then, of course, it's the awards banquet too. So after the speaker and the meal, then I'll take back over for a little bit. And we've got to recognize several camps and members and other individuals that will be receiving awards. So that'll be a good evening there. And I believe we'll also have a brief, I wouldn't say a presentation, but greetings from the UDC that night during the awards part. So they'll be there a little bit too. And let's add Mike back and let's try this now. So I see you, Mike, but I don't hear you. So we're going to drop him off, and we'll do this, Jason. We'll continue along. So that awards banquet again will be taking place that evening there at the Morristown Landing. And then we'll wrap up a little, probably around 9 o'clock that evening. So going to be a good weekend for the Tennessee Division reunion. Looking forward to this time and being in Morristown. And I'm going to try to add Mike back one more time here, Jason. And let's see. Mike, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I've got you back. Your audio's better now. So we kind of, you probably heard some of that. We kind of wrapped up the banquet side. Now let's kind of go through this group of photographs I've got, Mike, here of the monument. This will go back a little bit where you were working on it. You want to talk a little bit about the progress, kind of how it's come together?
in that particular scene, that's where they're raising the steel plate to cover the 2-foot hole in the center with the time capsule before we started pouring the concrete on top.
Let's go through some more. And then there's another one. There's Josh Cameron. I see Jordy Barnett there up close, and they're putting things in the time capsule. What's some of the stuff that's in there, Mike?
There's some history of the camp, some history of the Longstreet Museum, and a lot of different events in between.
So is there a date set to open it down the road, or is it there for eternity, or what's the plan with it? Well, he dropped off again, Jason. Mike's having a little bit of audio issues tonight, but there you can see, and we'll continue through a couple more of these photographs as Mike jumps back on with us, as he's having some audio and video problems tonight. But there's another one of them working on that. That's a very tall, of course, monument there, Jason. You can see some more of the work that they're doing, and we'll continue with a few more of these photographs here. And there's the one I was talking about earlier we wanted to show, and that is Jordy on there as they got the new one of the soldier there. And we'll let Mike drop back in here with us, Mike, as you can see that photograph that we're showing there, the one we talked about earlier. Wasn't sure if we're going to keep Jordy up there or the monument stays. Which one's staying, the soldier or Jordy? I don't know that he hears me. I think we're going to have to continue along. Well, let's do this, Jason. And I've lost you now too. Now you're unmuted.
No, yeah, I just need to unmute because I've been having to do some things behind the scene because there's a picture that I'm wanting to upload. And we have so many pictures on here now that it won't let me upload it.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. I had to be tied on some things. So let me see if there's something we can get rid of here if we need to.
Okay. I just had one that shows the monument at night. And I tell you, it's something else. But I visited, and you could have gone to the Longstreet Museum over the last few years, and they have had that monument on display inside the Longstreet, inside the house. And I'd say the monument's right at 6 feet. Is that right, Mike?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. So when we were asking who's taller, Jordy or the monument, well, the monument's taller because I stood by it and he was a head taller than me. So.
And see, that angle doesn't do it justice.
No, it really doesn't.
Again, it's good looking in this photograph here. We'll show again after the completion of it. It definitely makes a statement, Mike, as you're coming around that corner. And let's see, I think I may have one more wide shot here of it. You can see a little bit better. So folks, right now, Mike, they're taking that road right to the left of the monument, correct? As they're cutting between the highways?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
So good exposure there for that. And we'll show a few more pictures here of some of the work. There's some more of the soldier being set on top of the monument. How much does the soldier weigh, Mike?
It's not heavy because it's somewhat hollow. It's just a little awkward. It might weigh, I don't know, 300-400 pounds, maybe 200-300 pounds. I'm not sure. Really not sure.
Mm-hmm. So there's another shot, and it gives you another perspective of how tall the base is and the soldier on top.
And you can see the tire tracks where people swinging wide, just getting that narrow street inside the museum.
Definitely making an impact there. There's another one of the soldier being lifted up there with the backhoe and the bucket, putting it up on top.
Yeah.
And let's look at a few more. So, Mike, tell us about who's in this photograph here. I see Jordy in there. You want to mention some of the other people that are involved?
Yeah, it's some of the camp members and members of the Sam Davis UDC chapter that day that put it up.
Of course, that's going to be unveiled next Saturday. That will be the 18th at 2 p.m. there in Russellville. I guess you're going to cover the whole marker there, Mike, and unveil it.
I think Jordy's going to cover the statue. I don't know how much of the pedestal base on it. Yeah, I don't know.
Again, there's another wide shot of it, of course, on that Saturday, Mike, when folks come to see the dedication. We mentioned there'll be some speakers there bringing greetings, the unveiling. And also while you're there, you have an opportunity, I guess, to join as a member of the museum and tour it and purchase some things in the gift shop. Talk a little bit about the museum, what's going on with the Longstreet Museum right now.
Well, we've been working on updating some of the exhibits. especially the tailor shop. You guys and gals will be impressed once you see what we've been working on with the display interpretation of that structure. It was used as General Kirkshaw's headquarters on a nearby property, and the building was donated to the Longstreet Museum. So we've got that, and we've been working on a few displays inside. We're also developing at a later date an artillery display, a small arms munitions display. So we've got a lot of things going on.
Busy time there at the museum. It's going to be a good weekend. Now, Mike, as we get ready to kind of wrap up, a couple more photographs I want to show. And this church, I didn't realize the Bethesda church was as close to the museum as it is, but you guys had the camp had a candlelight vigil for Easter, right?
Yes, they had that sunrise service there, had it all illuminated inside, and it was used as the Corps hospital or one of the Army hospitals. We know the 21st Mississippi used it by some of the documentation we've been able to find.
So after the dedication, if folks want to go over there, I believe you're going to have some directions or at least the address available for folks that want to go by, see the cemetery, and take a look at the church.
Yeah, we're working on a list right now with the physical address that people can punch it into their GPS system and just explore the region.
Lots of stuff happening up there. It's going to be a busy time, Mike. And again, there's that schedule that's going to be happening for those that have already registered. And again, if anybody wants to still come and they may show up the day of, accommodations can be made. But remember, some things will be limited. You'll still pay $75 to attend. And some of the food could be first come, first served basis at that point, what may be available.
That is true.
Again, TennesseeSCV.org is where you can go and get all the details about the reunion, any contact information they need to reach out to you guys. Mike, you want to give a shout out to your team in the camp that have
I appreciate all the hard work. This has been a long time coming, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. We've had a great team, great focus on the vision, Confederation, and our Southern ancestors. And it's something for all of us to be proud of.
Well, Mike, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be an honor to be there with you guys. Appreciate all your hard work and dedication to make this happen. It's going to be a good time. Don't be nervous. Don't be worried. It's all going to be successful, and everybody will be happy and enjoy it. I hope everybody will be happy. Now, your part, everybody's going to be happy at. It's the business session that I get to lead that I don't know. Hopefully everybody will be happy with me too.
Well, once we turn it over to you, all I can say is you're on your own.
Well, it's going to be fun. I love our membership. I love our folks. It is truly a reunion. It's not just a business meeting, but it's a time to honor our ancestors and get to see folks that we may only see once a year. And look forward to getting together. And that's going to be next weekend. TennesseeSCV.org. You can go to learn more if you still need some last-minute registration or have questions about the event. And Jason, anything else you want to ask Mike before we wrap up with our portion with Mike tonight?
Yes, I would. I know that hosting these before, the happiest time you're going to have is Sunday morning. You know, after it's over with on Saturday, Sunday morning, that's a very good time. Somebody just come into it, come and enjoy it, have a good time, because the people that have worked to make this happen, a reunion doesn't fall out of the sky. There's a lot of people that have put a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of thinking into this. So, come there with the purpose of doing the business of the organization with gladness and happiness in your heart, and just enjoy the fellowship. Because realize that what we're doing is what we are supposed to be doing. It is keeping the charge. And I want to thank the camp for everything they're doing. Thank you, Bradford Rose. You are creating a brand new path with doing this monument dedication. And we lost Mike again. Okay. But I was going to show you this. Hate that we lost him. But this is where we'll be meeting. This is the Morristown Landing. So everybody has a view of what that looks like. And then I would like to leave with this image, this night image. Well, Mike's coming back.
Let's try him again.
Yes. Are you with us, Mr. Beck?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Yes. Okay. What I was finishing up was just telling people this is the Morristown Landing. These are the pictures that you sent me, so everybody's familiar with the structure. They know
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Go back to that picture, Jay.
That one.
Okay, there on the left of the picture, that'll be our conference room, business room there on the ground floor. The top of it will be our banquet hall with a balcony. So we will enter the structure from that east end of the building. Kind of in the center is the main entrance of the complex with the swimming pool, the climbing wall, the track. But that facility opens up at 8 a.m. But we'll be there doing our stuff, start a little bit before.
So, Mike, a question here for you. If there's a climbing wall, are we going to be able to do the climbing wall? That's what I want to know.
I'm trying to get Jason to do it right now without the safety strap.
Now, that's the way it should be done without the safety net. Yes. Yes. And if there's enough money involved, we'll talk about it.
Hey, we're trying to raise money for a museum. So, yeah, we're already taking bets on this.
He'll do it. We'll get him up there. He won't have a choice. He'll get up there.
Mike sent me this picture, and this, to me, when I saw this, I go, this is the picture.
Yeah. Mm. Oh, wow.
That's our security spotlight on the pole nearby. And I hadn't saw that till last night when Jason and I were talking. I said, we got to share that one. That speaks volumes to me.
The shadow of the soldier in dark like that, just, it stands out. It's great.
That was Saturday night when it was raining.
Yeah. How many of our ancestors would see a silhouette of another soldier at night with a campfire behind them or something like that? And to me, that's a haunting look, especially standing there at that house. He looks like a guard standing sentry at the Longstreet house.
Yeah.
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 Well done.
That speaks volumes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a great image. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, I know the door is always open anytime you need to be on the program. Things you guys have got going on, just let us know, and we'd be happy to have you on.
Thank you, each everyone. And once again, I encourage those that's sitting on the fence, wherever you are in the Confederation, come out. Be a part of history.
Absolutely. Well, Mike Beck has been our guest this evening. Mike, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. We're going to come back. We have a little bit longer to go tonight as we have several images that have been sent in to us from some of our camps across the division and activities that are going on. So a shout out to all the folks that are with us tonight. Jason, I see Jordy there. Of course, took that on the way to the sunrise service that we mentioned earlier that they had at the Bethesda Church. So appreciate Jordy and all his work. Josh Cameron, the camp, Mike, and I don't want to leave anybody's name out because you've had a lot of folks working to make this possible. And it's going to be a good weekend, and we look forward to being with you. So let's go ahead and take our next break. We're going to come back, and we'll talk more Tennessee Division activities and events on Tennessee Tuesday.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost. Stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Major James Daniel Richardson, 1843 to 1914. Major Richardson of Rutherford County, Tennessee, was a Confederate veteran, statesman, and historian whose life reflected both service and leadership. During the war between the states, Richardson left his studies to join the Confederate Army, serving nearly 4 years with the 45th Tennessee Infantry, rising from private to adjutant and officer. He was wounded during the Atlanta campaign, carrying the effects of that service for the rest of his life. After the war, he returned home to build a distinguished career in law and public service. Richardson served in both houses of the Tennessee General Assembly before representing Tennessee in the U.S. Congress for 2 decades, eventually becoming House Minority Leader. He also became a noted historian, compiling the messages and papers of the Confederacy and preserving important records of Southern history for future generations. Remembered as a devoted Tennessean, Richardson's life stands as a lasting example of service to his state, his people, and his heritage. To learn more historical facts about Confederate veterans, visit TennesseeSCV.org. And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday on SCV Chat. I'm your host, John Blankenship, joined by my co-host there on the right of your screen, one Jason Boshers. Let's get that right, RS Jason Boshers he is tonight. We appreciate Jason being back with us. Jason, good to have you again. I've missed you the past few weeks, but you've been busy, and I've been busy with the show. We've had several interviews, and good to have you back tonight.
It's been great to be back, and I thank you for allowing me to come back and visit with you again. I enjoy doing the show, and I hate that you couldn't have it last week with your illness, but I'm happy to know you're back on your feet and doing well.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say here, of course, share a few more comments tonight of folks that have been in the chat with us. Jerry there, I'll be 44, appearance of 35. I can agree with him. I see the pictures look about the same over the years, but the joints and all the other stuff says otherwise. Maybe I hide it well. And again, also Jerry saying happy birthday. Tomorrow is the big 44th birthday. So I do appreciate that as well. Let's see some others. Let's see. I want to jump. Kim said, Jason, you need 25 hours in your workday. You'd probably agree with that, or maybe more.
No, yes. I would love to have about a 36-hour workday. Yes.
And about 30 of it would be a division adjutant. Dennis Stubblefield, Commander Stubblefield, the honey is great. I've had some of that from the Sam Davis home.
Yes.
Also tonight, Lieutenant Commander, Second Lieutenant Commander Sean Hill, support events at the Sam Davis home. Absolutely. There are lots of events throughout the year. I've been to many of those, and I look forward to continuing to many others. I want to say hello to Mr. Donald Gaines tonight with us from Florence, Mississippi. Yes. Good to see him on tonight. Our friend, the one and only Derek Glover, who is from the Glover National Forest in Fentress County. I didn't know he had a forest named after him, but if he says so, I agree with him. I just got out of his camp meeting. So good to see Derek on with us this evening. Also, let's see if there's some others here we want to mention. I love when folks have conversation with each other in the chat. That's good interaction, and we appreciate folks doing there. Let's see. We want to say hello to Commander Kyle Thompson from the Kentucky Division, joining a little late this evening, but on with us. Hope Kyle is doing good up his way. And let's see. Also, Steve Reed here. Brother Richardson was a 33 degree Mason. Yeah. So there's the address for the Longstreet Museum for folks I know were asking about that, Jason. What that address is there in Russellville, between a 25 and 30-minute trip, roughly,
Yes.
is
Yes.
what Commander Beck has said for that trip. So it's a little distance in between. But if you've never been up in that area of Tennessee, too, it's very pretty up there
Yes.
as well. Also, Steve Reed will jump back in because I think we shared
Yes.
something at the same time. Steve said there,
Yes.
Richardson, that we were just sharing the little vignette of course, very important. And I've got a copy of those books that's mentioned in there. I recently purchased, and I really wasn't very familiar with him, Jason, until I realized the books that he wrote about the Confederacy and those papers he published. And
Wow.
he was very instrumental and served in, of course, Tennessee House and Senate, and even in the federal level as well. Also, Kyle saying they're hopefully down at his second home in Pigeon Forge later this week.
Mm,
Pretty area up in Pigeon Forge, especially this time of year as well. Watch out for the bears that may be out there to get you. So let's go ahead, Jason, and jump in. We've got several things we still need to cover this evening. Several photographs have been sent in to us. I'm going to pull some of those up. And we're going to go through those, and then we'll wrap up with news tonight of upcoming events. And I do want to remind you again, Jason, you got to visit with me 2 or 3 weeks ago at the National Confederate Museum there in Elm Springs, and we did a tour of what's going to be the rebuilding there of the Forest Plaza, the site of General and Mrs. Forrest burial site there that's now at Elm Springs. We did a walking tour of that, and there's a video on our Tennessee Tuesday Facebook page. So you can go there and watch that if you have more questions and would like to learn more. That is available there. So go make sure you go check that out. We also want to share this photograph. I know you were at this event. Our several folks of the Tennessee Division attended the Chaplains Conference there that was held at Elm Springs, and you see a photograph of those in attendance, and several from the Tennessee Division attended that event.
It was great to see Kim Hoffecker there.
Absolutely. And then there's some of our guys from Tennessee that were there as well, photographed there. So a good conference. I've heard all positive things about that, and we're glad our folks got to show up and be a part of that event. Now, this took place this past last weekend. This was Saturday, March the 28th at the Munford Cemetery in Covington. And I have some photographs there from Andrew Harrington here of some of the work. There he is in the work they've done at the Simonton Wilcox camp and their tombstone cleaning. And you can see some of these of them working there in the Munford Cemetery. I've been to a memorial service in the past at that cemetery. A lot of Confederate veterans buried there. And you see some of the work, the workshop, and several tombstones that got cleaned with the CERT training there, and the proper way and the safe way to clean historic headstones. And there you see some more photographs of them working.
That is
and
a huge That's a huge cemetery.
Yes, it is. Definitely a big cemetery. And then Wayne there leading that program.
Yeah, Wayne does a great job. Really does.
Well, let's see. Let's continue along here. There's, I think, a couple of more photographs. There's some more folks that are cleaning that obelisk there. And then the final one, you see Mark Buchanan there on the right.
Yep.
Mark is looking at it. He's not sure about it, but he's looking at it, checking it out.
Yeah, he's thinking on it.
A great work they're doing there at the Simonton Wilcox camp. And, of course, Wayne Moon leading the charge there with the CERT program in Tennessee, being the overseer and director of that. We appreciate Wayne's efforts and making sure that method is taught to safely clean tombstones. Some other photographs sent in to us. This one here is from Brigade Commander of the Jeffrey Forrest Brigade, Barry Sowell. He took this photograph there at the Unknown Confederate Soldiers Monument in Union City in Obion County. Always a pretty sight. It's springtime there. They had the flags out and decorated the soldiers' graves. And there's one of Barry in front of the monument there that was constructed in 1869. And Barry has a fundraiser coming up on April the 25th. So if you will go and search social media, you will find a link to that event if you're interested in attending. There's a fee to attend for the dinner, and it's a fundraiser to help with the restoration toward that monument there, one of the oldest in the South. It's constructed of bricks, and I know there's a railroad rail right down the center of it, Jason.
Yes.
To help hold that together. And let's see, there's a couple of more photographs. There's some of the graves that are in the circle around the monument. And then there's some of the guys there, of course, from the camp commander there on the right there and the work they do. So if you've never been to that site, it's worth a trip as well. The Obion County Mayor signed a proclamation for Confederate History and Heritage Month, and there's Barry and Randall there in charge of the camp, as Barry is adjutant, Randall is camp commander. They're getting that proclamation signed. So appreciate their efforts and appreciate the county mayor signing the Confederate History and Heritage Month proclamation in Obion County. Also, here's some more photographs that are sent in to us here. This is coming from the Savage Goodner Camp 1513 there. They had a memorial marker for 2 unknown Confederate soldiers that gave their lives at the Battle of Snow Hill in April of 1863. And then there's some of those that were in attendance for that dedication there. So good job to their camp. And you recognize those two, Jason. They served in your role as adjutant before you. You know Tom Wood and Martin Frost there. They dedicated and placed several Southern Crosses of Honor. You see one of them there below Martin. And several graves there in Lebanon there in the cemetery. And I believe they're at General Hatton's monument there where that one is being placed. So there's the work there they did and the camp did. That's just one photograph from it. I appreciate their work. Good to see Tom and Uncle Martin. Appreciate all they did.
Oh, yes. And our visitor with us tonight, Mike Beck, was the first person I ever heard him call Uncle Martin. And he called him Uncle Martin, and I just, yeah, that's perfect. And so I started calling him Uncle Martin, and I think all of us did.
Right.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Definitely does a good job. And we appreciate all our camps and all the activities. And of course, we've shown some of the work Mike and their camp is doing in Morristown, the Bradford Rose camp. They've been very, very busy and always very active, and a good group of guys up there. And we appreciate them and all camps across the Tennessee division. Guys, as we get a little past 8 o'clock, a few more things we need to cover here news-wise that we want to go through. And one of those, of course, is the National Confederate Reunion, the SCV National Reunion, to be held in Lexington, Kentucky this year, of course, in July of 2026. Those dates, July the 15th through the 19th. If you haven't registered or got your hotel reserved, you need to get that done. 131scv.org. It's also an election year as well. So going to be a busy time. Big crowds will be at the National Reunion in Lexington. And I know they're doing a lot of work to make that a very successful event. Also, I want to show that we issued a proclamation in Tennessee for the Confederate History and Heritage Month. That's been sent out by me as your division commander. So several folks have shared that, and we're glad to be able to do that. When other folks won't recognize it, we need to make sure we always do it ourselves and recognize the sacrifice of our soldiers and remember their history. Of course, Jason, I want you to talk a little bit about this one here. This is the Pilgrimage and Confederate Memorial Service coming up in May, not too far down the road, a little bit less than a month away. This is going to be at the National Confederate Museum in Columbia.
Yes, sir. That's the first. It's always the first. This is our 5th one. It's always the first Saturday in May. Grounds open at 9 a.m. They'll be open until 4. We have a memorial service that's going to start at 11 a.m. and the master of ceremonies is going to be the one and only Commander-in-Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy. Our keynote address is going to be none other than the fantastic Teresa Roan, an archivist for the United Daughters of the Confederacy. And you might have heard of Strings of Secession before. That's Marlon Rood, Mike Dunn. They're going to be providing the music on that day. Now, I'm going to have to modify this flyer because Donnie Kennedy has asked to put a World War I monument up when all of this came out of Memphis. Okay. When all this come out of Memphis, we were given a World War I monument. And if you've watched, I filmed 5 videos one day. Donnie Kennedy asked me to go ahead and tell everybody about all the projects we got going on.
Sure.
And this is on the road that is going from the museum parking lot up to Elm Springs. And we have already started to work on it. We've already had the people there. We've got some, we're going to take the flagpole that was in front of the house and we're going to take and put it behind this monument, because this monument was to Tennesseans that fought in World War I. So we're going to put that monument up, and we're going to dedicate it on that day. Is there a picture of the World War I monument? I'm looking at what David Pope put up. I have it from when we were on. I was on Thursday night for Commander's Comments, and we don't have a picture of it upright, but we will. On Monday, he's supposed to start digging the foundation for it. We're going to move the flagpole back there and fly a Tennessee flag on it, since it's the Tennessee boys. And
we'll get a photograph of that. I was going to try to find that. We'll show that.
Yeah, there's probably one that's up already, but I don't have one. But that is, we're going to adjust the time. That's probably going to start at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Because the guy told us, and I've talked to him several times, and we've had to go through 3 people to get to this guy. And he goes, yeah, I'll have it done by your May the 2nd, because we wanted to get it in before the May the 2nd. That's what Commander Kennedy wanted. And also on that day, we're going to be having a dedication of the bench to H.K. Edgerton. And so we will be having that as well. So it's going to be a full event, and you're going to want to be there. You know, it's we're going to be dedicating the World War I monument, the bench to H.K. Edgerton, and then we'll have a memorial service that's going to be by the Robert E. Lee statue, the Confederate Memorial Service, and you can bring a floral tribute and lay it, present it, and looking forward to seeing everybody.
And I believe, Jason, if my memory serves me right, Adam was recently on with Moose, and they talked about those floral arrangements. They had some specific live flowers they would like to have that they can later plant on the Elm Springs property.
Yes, and I tell you what, we'll get that. I'll get that out because I saw the list. I was watching it that Monday night.
Yeah.
It was the last Monday night of March, and I'll get that list from Adam, and we'll get that posted as well.
Absolutely. Well, another event coming up the same day. We like when there's activities all over the Confederation. This is the Army of Tennessee, a workshop and reunion. Rich Garcia, Forrest Dawes, Jimmy Hill, and Connor Bond are going to be speaking at this event that will focus on recruiting, retention, community involvement, and also heritage operations. Army of Tennessee Commander Carl Jones will be leading that event there, and that will be on May the 2nd from 9 until 3. So if you haven't made plans to attend that event, you're further down, may not be able to make it up to Elm Springs, you have this event going on as well, which is a great lineup of speakers, and good for your camps to attend these and learn more. Also, some other events that have been sent in to us from the Memphis Brigade that Mark Buchanan has put out there for us. Jason, one of those coming up is April the 26th. This is going to be the Confederate Decoration Day event at Confederate Rest and Elmwood Cemetery in Memphis. That's always a nice event. That will be at 2 o'clock that afternoon. Also coming up on May the 16th, you see the Pleasant Hill Cemetery in Arlington. That special service will start at 10. They have the Battle of Collierville event coming up in June. And also, of course, in July, the Forrest Birthday celebration that's been held for many, many years in Memphis and in Shelby County. And that's some of the events the Memphis Brigade has coming up. Also, an event I've been to a few times now. They do a fantastic job up in Paris with the Battle of Paris commemoration event. It's scheduled for Friday and Saturday, May the 8th and the 9th. The Tennessee Division will be there with a recruiting booth and trying to help out where we can. It's going to be a good list you see there of activities. And I'm not going to read all those to you, but you can see all the things that will be happening. Again, we appreciate the SMG Harris Camp 109 in Paris doing a fantastic job up there. Appreciate Rick Revel, Wes Frank, and all the others that are really, really working hard to make that a successful event and always very well received. Another one coming up in historic Collinsville. This is going to be Civil War Days, June the 12th through the 14th. You see all the details for the ages and costs there to attend and the different events. Again, you can visit historiccollinsville.com for a list of all those activities.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is one we always look to. I've gone to these for many years now, Jason, and I really enjoy these events. The Forest Homecoming and Southern Heritage Festival, which is scheduled Saturday, June the 20th from 9 till 4 at the Forest Boyhood Home there in Chapel Hill. The usual things you expect. Again, something we're hoping for, Jason, that will at least be under construction that time is the new Forest Hall Pavilion that the Tennessee Division and others have donated towards to make this happen. So we have a nice facility. And the long-term plans, Jason, that'll eventually be enclosed and we'll have a really nice facility there. But we'll start with phase one of the pavilion side. That construction, if it has not begun, will begin any time now. And going to be a nice thing addition there to the Boyhood Home. And Jason, if you want to speak to the event, we'll have some details coming up of if you're wanting to have a booth there and how you can participate.
Yes, sir. And I've already got the application for vendors out there. I'll send it to you and we'll have it on in the future. But vendor space is, we've got so many vendors, it's starting to get tight and it's starting to get limited. And I've already had, I think, 7 spots already taken up so far. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and it's, this is a great event and it is a fundraiser for the Nathan Bedford Forest Boyhood Home.
And that's something we'll want to mention. Remember, this is a fundraising event. It's sponsored by SCB National. The Tennessee Division just has bodies out there to really help organize it and keep it going. Yes. But it is a national event and has been from the very beginning, as National owns that property there.
Yes.
Again, it's a fundraiser. So when you pay your $10, make sure you pay your $10 before you come in, because all the funds that are raised help upkeep this site. And Jason, how many acres is the Boyhood Home site?
It's about 70.
So 70 acres, a good portion of that is mowed and maintained. Shout out to Gene Andrews and so many others that work up there to make sure that site is as beautiful as it always is. Every time I've been up there, especially around the house, it's always pristine. Yes. So it just goes to the dedication that men have given, and ladies as well, to make sure that site is maintained. But any dollars during that time, you'll be able to donate there as well. To give to the upkeep of that property. It's expensive to maintain with insurance and just the upkeep of another one. Like we said earlier, an old house, a log cabin, the other buildings on the property. It takes a lot to maintain that, and tractors and equipment things that we want to continue to grow and add to that. It takes dollars to do so. We appreciate the support of our membership and even outside guests as well that come to see the site, especially in June.
And we have people that do come and they'll hear about it and they'll come visit. But just think about how much it costs just to mow 20 acres. And that's about what's being mowed is 20 acres. And just the maintenance upkeep on the mower and the fuel to keep it running. It's quite a bit if you keep 20 acres, as well as Gene Andrews keeps it. John is correct. Yeah. It looks like Augusta National out there, the way Gene takes care of it. It's a beautiful golf course.
Commander Stubblefield there, loved the Boyhood Home, a beautiful site. Now, jumping back a little bit there, Kyle Thompson says Kentucky will be joining for the Battle of Paris. Kentucky comes down into Tennessee a lot. I think Kyle's becoming a Tennessean is what I'm beginning to think. Yes. We appreciate them and all. It's good to be able to work together with our divisions. Yeah. And do events together. We'll have an event coming up at Fort Donaldson that I know Kyle is leading on, organizing there. The Tennessee Division will partner with them on, and so will others. So that event's coming up in August, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that as it draws closer. Now, Jason, I think that's all the events I have tonight, and I know that's a lot of stuff because there's a lot going on, and that's just a few that have been sent to us or that I found on social media. Encourage you to send those to me or Jason if you have an event with your camp, and especially in Tennessee. We'd like to recognize that here on the program. So again, thank you for all those that have given this evening. And as we get ready to wrap up tonight, I want to bring Mike back on one more time and thank Mike Beck for being with us this evening. And as they're going to be hosting the Tennessee Division reunion, it starts next Friday evening. Again, Mike, thank you so much for all your work. And it's been an honor to have you on with us tonight.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward for the reunion.
All right. Well, guys, I think that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Tennessee Tuesday. But we do want to say a shout out, Jason, to those that also have shows on SCB Chat. We'll kind of go through that list here of those that have programs. Of course, Monday night is the original. It's the SCB Chat program. Also, of course, our program on Tuesday evenings. Wednesday night is Look Around Florida with Sean McFall. That's at 7 o'clock Central Time as well. Thursday night, the first Thursday night of the month you just heard was Commander's Comments, which was a great program full of guests and great information. That's still available to go back and watch too. So you should go back, and if you missed any of that, good information from our Commander-in-Chief and others. And also, of course, on Thursday nights, Look Around Confederation. The rest of the month, as Moose will feature different activities, kind of like we do, but he does more Confederation-wide things going on. So you can send events into him and promote what your camp does. And then, of course, on Friday nights, the Friends of the Douglas Southall Freeman Group with David Pope. Again, that's a great show there as well. Casey joining in tonight and watching the show. She's probably waiting for me to get off and say, I want something to eat. Maybe I don't know, she may be going to bed already. Also on the Sunday evening, of course, Hardy on History with Michael Hardy. That's at 7:30, usually on Sunday nights on the Hardy on History group and Facebook page. So if you haven't heard Michael Hardy as well, you'll thoroughly enjoy his knowledge of history. He's a historian's historian. If you kind of know where I'm going, a history guy loves another historian and listen to them talk and learn about their research. He's a great wealth of knowledge, a great guy, and that program is available. So that's the shows we've got, guys. If you're interested in maybe having your own show, we'd help guide you along. If your division or camp is interested in learning more about podcasting, video podcasts, we'd like to kind of guide you around as well. There's Jim joining us tonight. Jim's going to be there with us as our division chaplain.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a good show. I think I've said about.
I just wanted to echo what Jim Collinsworth said there. Mike Beck, I want to thank you and the Bradford Rose Camp and everything that y'all have done, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into putting one of these on, and y'all have done the work, and I'm looking forward to being there next weekend.
And look forward to having you and have the fellowship, and just remember Confederate ancestors. Like I say, Jordy's worked hard on this, and a lot of other people, and we've kept our promises and obligations.
Yes, sir.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the show. We'll be back with you next Tuesday night. We'll have one more program before the division reunion. Then back on the 21st, I can tell you Roy Hudson will be our guest. He is going to be a candidate for Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. And we originally had him scheduled last week, but due to sickness and me having to be off, he was so gracious to allow us to reschedule that for the 21st. He'll be on to talk about his candidacy and his platform and the things he'd like to see done in the SCB. And we look forward to having Roy on the 21st as we'll sit down and have some kind of casual conversation as we do on this show. So it should be a good show, and we hope you'll join us again coming up on the 21st, and more Tennessee Tuesdays on the way. Guys, have yourself a great rest of this week, a great weekend, and we'll be back with you next week here on Tennessee Tuesday. God bless y'all.
Good evening.
Thank you.